What does that say of the candidate and also of the Republican Party, most of whom looks like they are really uncomfortable with his candidacy?
First of all, nobody who follows US politics expected Donald Trump to be the Republican Party nominee. Nobody. There's a columnist for the Washington Post who writes on Republican Party issues. He had said earlier in the year, just before the primaries began, or in the early stages of the primaries, that if Donald Trump becomes the Republican Party nominee, he will eat his column, which he had to do. And you know, they made a big joke about it, but this is something that the pundits on the conservative side did not expect. This is something that the Republican Party establishment did not expect. The assumption was, you know, Marco Rubio, the senator for Florida, you know, was one of the people who was seen as possibly securing the Democratic Party, the Republican Party nomination. And that's not just the Republican Party. Bernie Sanders was not supposed to get this far. And that is the thing about this nomination process this year. Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump were the outsiders. They're supposed to maybe create a bit of noise, create some interest in the early stages of the primaries. But at this point, June 2016, these individuals were not supposed to be major players in US politics, and they are.
And look at how far they've come. Talk of Bernie Sanders. Sanders actually refused to let go until the defining moment. In fact, it's sort of shocking that he has decided to concede defeat. Just this week, he was saying he's going to go all the way to the convention, Prof.
Linda, I'm not as much surprised about Donald Trump reaching where he is. One has to go to the genesis, to the background of what happened, because I was very much part of the thing. The Obama election changed the landscape of America and America thinking and America politics and America philosophy. Barack Obama was not supposed to be president of the United States. And I can give you a very good example. I went for a campaign in my neighbor in Cleveland, Ohio. But I live in a fairly affluent neighborhood. So you expect these people to be well-read, be well-rounded, and everything. The first door we went to, my son, Walter, rang the doorbell, and these two old ladies came out the door and said, the grandson, what can we do for you? And Walter said, can you vote for my friend? And who is your friend? Barack Obama. Now, I had the Democratic Party had circulated an article which I wrote comparing Barack Obama and Senator McCain in all areas, foreign policy, domestic, and all that. And those two ladies had read the story. And so she called, they're in their late 80s, so she called a friend and say, our grandson, we are going to vote for Democratic Party the first time in our life. They have been Republican all their life. So it was wonderful. Going to the next door, we rang the doorbell, a man came out, and we were carrying pamphlets for Barack Obama. He looked at us, and he said, will you go and tell your friend, this is America. Someone like him cannot be president of this country. Now, that sent the message of what I'm about to talk about in a few minutes.
Okay, just hold your horses right there. But before we continue, I think let us now just listen in to some of the memorable quotes by the Democratic Republican candidate right now, Hillary Clinton.
I am going to be the nominee, and I want to spend a lot of my time, as you've seen me do, really taking on Trump, because I find what he says, the kind of candidacy he's presenting, to pose a danger to our country.
Never heard such reckless, risky talk from somebody about to be a nominee for president than I've heard from Donald Trump when it comes to nuclear weapons. For 70 years, Democrats and Republicans alike, we've done everything we could to prevent more countries from having nuclear weapons. And along comes Donald Trump and says, well, he doesn't really care. Let them all have nuclear weapons.
Now, Moscow and Beijing are deeply envious of our alliances around the world because they have nothing to match them. They'd love for us to elect a president who would jeopardize that source of strength. If Donald gets his way, they'll be celebrating in the Kremlin. We cannot let that happen.
And when he was asked in a national television interview to disavow David Duke and other white supremacists who are supporting his campaign, he played coy. We cannot let Barack Obama's legacy fall into Donald Trump's hands.
Very interesting take there by the Democratic presumptive nominee there, Hillary Clinton. And did I just say Democratic Republican?
No.
My apologies for that.
Bernie Sanders will disagree with you.
I meant that. Exactly. My producer, Kibisu, just corrected me that actually Sanders has still insisted he's going all the way. He's not conceding.
In fact, Bernie Sanders has conceded but not conceded. So he has conceded that Hillary Clinton is the presumptive Democratic Party nominee. What he has not conceded is his platform. What he has not conceded is the remaining primary results. He's not said he doesn't care about them, and for very particular reason. He wants to secure as many delegates as possible, as many pledged delegates as possible, so that come next month, at the Democratic Party's national convention, he then can say, I have 1,000 and so many people backing me, and they back my platform, and my platform is important, not just to the Democratic Party, but to national politics. And therefore, you, candidate Hillary Clinton, must adopt some of these ideas and principles in your campaign to secure the presidency for the Democratic Party come November.
For Hillary, I think she's really been campaigning on the platform that it is time that she wants to continue with the legacy of President Obama, Prof.
Not necessarily. Obama crafted a very clear policy based on 4 pillars, on which one of them was that America is one among equals, among other countries. That there was going to be a deep respect of North-South relationship. There was a very deep commitment to Africa on Obama's earlier policy, which I was part of. And then later on, once Hillary became the Secretary of State, the whole thing changed. It changed to gender issues and all the other things, and really focused on American power, which shifted a little bit from what Obama was dreaming about doing. But the point, I want to get back to the earlier point, which is Barack Obama was not supposed to be president of the United States. And so Barack Obama became a surprise president, but we know that it was going to happen. So what happened, and what people need to understand, is white women and white men have always voted together through the history, 200 years history of the United States. For the first time during Barack Obama, white women, majority voted independently from white men. And then Barack Obama garnished well over 90% of a black vote, and then Hispanic vote. And then the youth vote, which voted in millions to Barack Obama. And Barack Obama carried on to become president. Hillary was became then, and Hillary and Bill became one of the strongest supporters, one of the campaign people. And what is happening right now, if you look in the scale, Obama is one of the most popular soon becoming ex-president of the United States.
And again, just quickly, I know we're running short of time, but quickly, I think I would like to talk about the American nomination system, and of course being part of the reason why there's a lot of contention in on both the Democratic and the Republican side. The nomination going all out because it is unfair that Hillary went into the primaries already at an advantaged position because of the pledged delegates. What lessons then can we draw from the United States, which of course in this part of the world we benchmark ourselves a lot against when it comes to democracy? Tom?
For me, the clear lesson is disagreements within a political party does not mean that that political party is disunited, is going to collapse, is signing its death wish. That is something that we in Kenya have to accept, that in a political party there can be different persuasions, the left wing of the party, the right wing of the party, the center of the party, and what makes a party strong is getting these different points of view, first of all, to be expressed, and then secondly, to reach a consensus.
Okay, Prof, in 10 seconds.
10 seconds is the democratic system in the United States is grounded and very strong, and people can agree on principle, but it will not paralyze the country.
Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you so much for coming. And Tom, thank you so much for coming. We want to leave it right there, and do keep it WORLDVIEW, where we promise to give you a 360-degree coverage of world affairs, and why we want to always help you connect the dots and make sense of why whatever it is that is happening elsewhere in the globe has a direct impact to us locally. We want to leave it right there. I leave you in the very able hands of Betty Chalo, who comes in right next with KTN News Center.
Can I have a seat, please? Red. No, imagine she's not. We'll have a problem because I don't know the guest, I don't know anything. That's one very serious problem.